welcome back. We're going to start a new thing for the channel. A couple little series going to call Tech Talk. So we're going to be talking about tools that I've acquired and used to put these cars together that you guys watch on the channel. So I had some feedback on asking, about the tools, mainly the compressor and the air filtration setup that I have. So we're going to get into that right now. This is a 60-gallon Quincy compressor. I believe it's a 5 horsepower, a true 5 horsepower. I got it at Northern Tool. 14 years ago. Let's see, what's it? 13. Between 13 and 14 years ago. The only problem I ever had was the switch went out here. Outside of that, all I've done is change the oil twice, and I've never had an issue with it. So it's been a real workhorse. 60-gallon, 5 horsepower is going to give you everything you need to paint a car. Now you can go smaller, the little, Craftsman on wheels, and you can get away with stuff like that. But if you want one that's going to power a DA sander, a spray gun, a belt sander, blow gun, anything involved with bodywork or paint on a car, you're going to want at least a 60-gallon, preferably an 80-gallon. So back then when I bought this thing, I want to say it was between $1,600 or $1,800. So that's a pretty big pill to swallow for somebody who's wanting to paint one car or work on their one car. But I can tell you right now that between this and the lift, and actually this is the most important tool in the shop. Without compressed air, you can't do anything. You can't spray nothing. So I would say the air compressor is the most important tool in the shop. And I have no regrets of buying it. When like I said, it was about $1,600 back then. It's probably double now. But I have the air, the fluid moisture valve down low. I just got it hardlined with some 3/8 hardline and some hydraulic fittings, and it's going hardlined out to the shop. So you hit the valve here, and it's kicking all the moisture out that's inside the tank. You got to do that before you spray anything. I stuffed it here in the restroom mainly because it's loud. Yeah. I've had it at different locations in the shop, and when we're doing metal work or you're using a lot of the cutoff wheels or stuff like that, this thing will run all day and it's loud. So I stuffed it in here, keep the door closed, and it's much quieter. The problem with that is it gets hotter. It gets hot in this room when this thing is running. So with that, this tank gets hotter, the air gets hotter, which when the air cools creates more moisture. So that's the downside. So a workaround is we prop the door open. If we're working outside or something, it's not too bad. But when we're in here in the shop in the winter time, this thing is loud. You can't have any music on. You don't hear anything. All you hear is this thing going. So I stuffed it in here. I put a little fan up here to keep it cool right on the motor, and it does work. It keep, it's a workhorse. So we got the valve down here with a flexible hose. This thing is bolted to the floor, by the way. And then the flexible hose goes through the wall to the filtration all the way through. So what I did with this, excuse me, it's about 50 foot of 3/4 inch copper that I put together. So it's recommended that you want to have about 50 foot before your gun. So what this does, copper dissipates heat better than steel or aluminum or anything. Copper is good for dissipating heat. So what I did was I built this little setup here, and I soldered the joints It was my first time doing that, by the way, and none of them leak, surprisingly. So if I could do that my first time, then you can do it too. Instead of making it a long 50-foot run, you can do it like this, so it's compressed. And on the bottom, I have ball valves that, in theory, the moisture, the trapped moisture is going to settle down here. And you open the ball valve. Bobby drained them out earlier, so there's probably nothing in there. There's nothing in there. But we got 3 of those.
Third one has some.
Third one has a little bit.
Let's see.
So I added this. Now this is not a necessity, because for the first 2 cars that I painted, all I had was this. That's it. This one thing. I believe it's a DeVilbiss. I got it probably on Eastwood way back when. And it got decent paint jobs. A little bit of moisture in them, but nothing that, you know, can't be wet sanded out or whatever. So I kept it in combination with the copper. So imagine you have your air compressor with that hot air in the tank. When that air cools, it turns to moisture. You don't want moisture coming out your spray gun. So now you have 50 foot of copper. These things will get maybe warm, but the moisture is going to settle down there. So you got moisture down there. The moisture is not really going to make its way up here. If it does, actually, I use this now just for shop tools. This filtration. For the paint side of it, I have this 3-stage, 4-stage desiccant drying system. So the first line of defense is the 3/4 inch copper. The second line of defense is the 4-stage or 3-stage, 3 in a regulator, desiccant bead system. So with the desiccant bead system, this is a knockoff of the Aero brand. And I got that on, I want to say USA Weld or weldusa.com or something like that. They had a special. So the compressed air, like I said, first line of defense, if there's any moisture in this, it's going to come through these 2 systems here, and it's going to go through this desiccant bead. Those desiccant beads have a lifespan, I guess you can say. When they get saturated, they're going to turn pink. Okay? So you can unscrew that, take it in the house, put it on a pizza sheet, baking sheet, and bake them. Bake them for like maybe 200 degrees for like 15 minutes, and then stir them around. You're going to see they're going to start turning blue again. And you know, do that for about an hour's worth, and now they're dry, and you put them back in and reuse them. So the desiccant beads essentially absorb moisture. So any moisture gets past that, it's going to get dried up in the desiccant beads. So then from there we go out and we have the hose going to the little paint booth that I have next door. This is a Flexzilla hose. I highly recommend Flexzilla. The hose, it doesn't, you go get it, I got another one right here. You go get a cheap hose that doesn't lay flat, and when you're walking around the car and you pull the hose, it's going to slap up. It's going to slap up, and it's going to hit your car that you just clear coated or you just base coated or whatever. And it's going to turn into then you're going to start getting nervous, and everything goes downhill from there. So highly recommend Flexzilla. They sell these at Northern Tool. They probably sell them on Amazon. These hoses lay flat. They don't never get hard. They're worth the money. Flexzilla. It's a 3/8 inch hose. But I also have it set up that when we painted Johnny's car or whatever cars we painted in this shop, all I got to do is switch the air. Switch the air from here, put that here. And now we have the copper filtration with the desiccant bead in this shop. So I got it set up so I can swap them out. So that's what I have for the paint filtration. Get pretty decent paint jobs. I'm not going to say that it's 100% moisture proof. It depends on how long that compressor is running. When we painted my car all around, I did get a couple little moisture drops. We painted Johnny's car, I didn't notice anything. It also depends, you got to remember, halfway through or whatever, it doesn't hurt to come drain this tank. You know, it doesn't hurt to drain the tank, you know, during the process. It doesn't hurt at all. Or drain the coppers. You're getting the moisture out instead of putting it on your car. So the Quincy, man, like I say, it's been a workhorse, man. And you can hardwire it, but I have it wired up to a plug. Because like I say, it's been in a few different spots here until I finally found out where I wanted it. But it's plugged in, 220. And I don't know, man, what do you think?
Well, I mean, one thought that goes through my mind is, average guy at house, he only has his car to work on.
Okay.
Does he need 60?
A 60 gallon?
Yes. Can he get away with a 20 gallon?
I mean, there's plenty of videos on YouTube that show guys painting a complete car with a 20 gallon air compressor. Can you paint it? Can you put paint on the car with a 20 gallon compressor? Yes. Are you going to have moisture? Yes. Depends on what type of quality you're trying to achieve. I mean, there's videos out there, guys spraying a hood with a pancake compressor. Does it work? Yes. All you need to do to put paint on a car is compressed air.
Mm-hmm.
But the better quality compressor and filtration, the better the drier air that's coming out of the gun. That's gonna it's just one more thing to eliminate that can go wrong when painting the car. I mean, ideally you would want like a drying system, like a dryer. I thought about getting one, a refrigerated dryer, but I can get away with what I have for what I do now. But you can do it with a smaller compressor. I mean, when we first had the shop built, I did have a little Craftsman on wheels, 110 volt, and I was running the DA, and the thing never turned off. The thing ran for like 2 hours because the DA is an air hog.
Mm-hmm.
It ran for like 2 hours, and it got to the point that the tool was getting cold, ice cold, and dripping water out the tool. And if you're sanding filler or whatever, you don't want that. Mm-hmm. So that's when I decided I need to upgrade. Now this Quincy, we can have a DA running next door. We can have a DA running in here, and this thing is still going to build pressure. It's going to kick on, but it can keep up and build pressure with 2 DAs running. So it's more than you need. So can you do it with a smaller one? Absolutely. Just depends on what you're trying to achieve.
Is there a way to regulate how much pressure this thing puts out?
I mean, I got it regulated at about, I can't really see, but it's almost 100.
Yeah.
Is it? I can't really see.
You
Whatever that
You
shows.
can put a regulator anywhere.
Yeah, that's a switch. There's a regulator over there on the end, and then you also have a regulator on the gun. So you can regulate anywhere in line.
Yeah, you can even have 2 different regulators for different tools, because some tools tells you how much they require.
Like a spray gun, you only want like 25, but like a DA, you want like 90 or whatever maximum.
Maybe with the smaller compressor and maybe a mobile air filter.
Yeah, sure. The thing is, you got to have some sort of filter. If you just run in an air compressor with a hose coming out, you're going to get moisture. You got to have some sort of filter. At the least line of defense is the little
filter on the gun.
Bare minimum. Now, you can spray primer with a small compressor all day, because that's not the finish of the car.
Yeah. You
see what I mean? But base coat and clear coat, especially clear coat, is the finish of the car. So you don't want a mistake to happen at that point. But on the primer stage, absolutely. You can sit here and prime your car and, one man garage or whatever, and use your small compressor, primer it, and then, maybe you have access to a booth or something like that. So you can still get the job done. You don't got to go buy a big one. But I'm saying that if you plan on doing this for 1 or 2 or 3 or, years or whatever, that's the best tool in the shop. That's a necessity. If that thing, when that switch broke, well, we were out.
Yeah, we're down
for the weekend.
Yeah.
Just like that. I mean, you can sit here and block sand, but you're done. So, and the copper, like I said, 3/4 inch copper, this is straight, you know, backyard stuff, man. Put it together, hung it on the wall, and those things do accumulate a little bit of moisture, a little bit. And I mean, I dry those beads out like once a year, literally. And I mean, you know, we do a decent amount of spraying.
Yes.
So definitely. Now, like I said, I got the compressor at Northern Tool back then. When I was looking for one, I said, I want to buy the best one you got. And they said, buy Quincy. And so that's what I bought. They had Ingersoll Rand, which I hear now they're made overseas or whatever. You know, that's neither here nor there. But I walked in, I said, I want to buy the best compressor you have. And they said, buy Quincy. And literally, the slogan for Quincy is, you buy a Quincy, you buy it for life. And I haven't had a problem.
I mean, you said you've already had it, what, 13 years?
13 or 14, 2011, and it's 2025, so that's going on 14 years.
Yeah, if you've had it that long, it's paid for itself.
Sure, absolutely. Now, yeah, you can go to Lowe's and get a Craftsman. It'll do the job, but if you're looking for longevity and durability and reliability, I'd get something, you know, it'll cost a little bit of money, but like I say, that thing can run 2 DAs and still build pressure. So a spray gun is a walk in the park for it.
Yeah.
And spray gun's only putting out 25 PSI or whatever. So, but like I say, man, you don't have to have the desiccant system. I painted a car with just this. And this has a water release down here too. And it would have, you know, it would accumulate water. I had that thing, I want to say, directly on the compressor. And yeah, you open it and it's, you know, it's dripping, you know, it's flowing out, but it's better to flow out on the floor than to flow out on the car.
Yeah.
So I have no regrets. This was just a bonus we threw together because I read it helps. And I mean, this little project right here was like maybe $100 to put it together. It's 50 foot of 3/4 inch copper that we soldered. Super easy. There's plenty of videos on YouTube to do that. And the little ball valves, I've replaced those. Those are stainless steel. I would recommend stainless steel ball valves because, I mean, that's literally a moisture trap. So you buy the cheap ones and they're gonna rust. So stainless steel ball valves, got those on Amazon, like 10 bucks each. And that's it, man. What you think, Bobby?
I don't have no questions to answer everything.
It's good, man. So hope y'all enjoyed this little Tech Talk episode 1, air compressors.